Wait, why am I in Raw? Oh my goodness.
That's between you and whatever child you're trying to create.
All right, we're live right now, so great conversation.
Shit! Can somebody warn me before we do this shit? What the hell?
I saw it said live, and I was just like, oh, okay.
Yep. Welcome, everybody, to Unpopular Review Disorganized Edition. This is the Heroes of the Pandemic Era WWE Main Roster Edition. Yes, AEW Dynamite is not on the air tonight, but we don't take the night off. In fact, we have a whole crew with a new show just for you, the Unpopular Reviewniverse. That's right, people. That's a trademark pending on that one. So, welcome. Strap on in. We're going to talk about the top 10 stars. We got an all-star cast here. We're going to go from 10 to 1. We're going to talk about it. We'll have some conversation, some debate, maybe some controversy. Maybe there'll be snubs. Who knows? Let's get into it. So shall we bring everybody onto the screen? But so I can introduce everyone, I will start to the person to my left, Captain Shakespeare, who I've never worked with before. But last time I was trying to do an imitation, like I was smiling a lot. I was like, that was me being Admiral Shakespeare, like I was promoted. That was, so for those who didn't know what I was doing last night, I promoted myself to Admiral Shakespeare. And the reason I was smiling so much is because she's always smiling. She's always smiling. Yeah. Below me, my former tag team partner from the AEW NXT review show, the Sheriff, who I brought on to Unpopular Review, so you can all thank me for her telling me I'm stupid every week for not liking things on AEW.
Or you can yell at him because now you got to hear my voice.
That too. Down there in the lower corner, and this is a totally normal position for a hand, is Big Daddy Cool, Steven Pena, my podcast tag team partner of the Hammerlock Hangover, the greatest wrestling podcast around. It'll make you smarter or not. Backstage, we have, he seems to be in a timeout. We have Auntie Bad Guy Jack himself, apparently killed a Smurf and rolled it up on his head. So, yes, there he is. Almost there, Papa Smurf. Somewhere in the background, changing his name for this show and this show only, yelling obscenely and gesticulating quite a bit is the Excellence, but he just wants to be, I guess he's saying, you are great. Keep going. I love you.
Oh, there I am.
Boo.
Nobody tell him that he's on mute.
So somebody is fooling around with Chris.
You know what? I'm about to fire somebody. I see it right now. Okay, he's barely started his gorilla, and he comes out looking like a gorilla. I don't know. Maybe he found out that Trey Marquis here that he's a banana or some shit. I don't know what's going on, but I want my due date. I want my due date. You know about due dates,
you're
right?
Pregnant?
Oh, you're pregnant. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Who's the lucky guy?
Dressed properly. It's a pink party.
You play with me one more time, midwife. I swear. Hey,
he's a doula, not a midwife.
I don't even know my name anymore. What is it? Executive consultant. Okay, cool. Hey, I'm getting myself together. For some reason, I everything is off. What's going on, noob? For some reason, everything's off. But I'm here now. I'm here to bring dignity to this. See, let me tell you what happened. Right. This is what happened. Shut up, Drake. This is what happened, right? Jeff came to me. Evil Dose came to me, and he was like, hey, Excellence, we need to have a top 10 pandemic show. And I said, sure. He said, who do I want on? I said, hey, I want myself on. I said, okay, you're starting off wrong, but let's keep on going, right?
Wait. Steve, this needs heroic music for his story. Give him like a Curtis Mayfield or something.
Steve, you know what that is? That's somebody. Somebody messed up the joke, and then you.
Well, maybe Rocky. Give the Rocky fingers.
You putting on your baby making music. It's not helping me, Steve. But anyway, he started off wrong with Evil
Dose. Music is him making a baby.
Then he said, "Hey, I want to bring the Sheriff." I said, "That AEW person? No, does she have a wedding to attend? That's what she has to attend her own wedding with her wife." Look at her right now.
There's some haters in the building. It's okay, though.
Yeah, you're right. The green screen. And then he said, Captain Shakespeare. I said, as long as she doesn't wear a robe, we'll be okay. When it happens, she's wearing a robe. So now I'm over here having to bring dignity to this show, and that's what I'm here to do, bring dignity. You're welcome.
It's all right. It's all right, Cap. Listen, Captain can wear a robe. I'm not wearing pants. It's all good. It's all good.
See?
Okay. Trey Marquise.
You want me to stand? You want me to
Help
stand up?
me.
That won't be necessary. YouTube,
Ayúdame.
Facebook, Twitter, everything that we're on will flag us immediately. We're also live on Pornhub, ladies and gentlemen, and we will get flagged for Steve showing his baby makers. I don't. Nobody wants to see that shit. All right.
Okay, boomer. No one uses Pornhub anymore. It's all about OnlyFans.
All right.
What you and your wife do on your honeymoon is your business. Okay.
Okay. So this is a wrestling show, and it's not about us verbally wrestling. That's just thrown in for free.
It's
a wrestling show.
Steven is already not following the rules. If you look at the comment, you need to get him. If you look at the comments, he's not following the rules.
Okay.
No, I'm following the rules.
I'm snitching.
This is
It's Heroes of the Pandemic.
So So I'm going to start. Number 10. Never was a guy for this guy. Didn't really support him. I was not watching wrestling during his primetime years. Liked a little bit of the rated R stuff. But my number 10, he came back right before the pandemic and gave us a full year of solid work. And we're talking about Edge, who previously was only going to do 3 appearances per year. This year, he obviously did way more than that. Cut a lot of promos, worked both heel and face. Not that I loved all the matches with Randy Orton, but you can't say he didn't work hard and that he didn't help carry the brand, carry the story. So I'm going to give 10 to the rated R superstar, Edge. That's my reason why. Now I'm going to go counterclockwise to Captain Shakespeare over there.
Okay. So I'm going to give this my number 10 spot to Kevin Owens. I feel like he had some fun matches in this time. He had the whole stuff with Seth Rollins, which I thought was, intriguing. And their match at Mania was also really good, in my opinion. I loved when he jumped off of whatever he jumped off. He jumped off of something. It was funny. And I just liked his stuff with Roman as well. That was also pretty great also. So I feel like he just had a really good year, and he made, the pandemic time very watchable to me.
All right. Going down to Mr. Dignity himself, the executive consultant who's changed his name now 3 times during the show.
Yeah, I don't understand why you picked Edge. He ain't do nothing but come up and throw his arms up. He won a Royal Rumble, but he really wasn't there. He ain't really do crap. So, I just disagree with your opinion wholeheartedly. I'm also not a fan with the pick of who did you say, Captain Shakespeare? You say Kevin Owens?
Kevin Owens, yeah.
See, this is how I know you're on.
I don't like your pick, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, because I didn't say it yet. So no, because I remember it wasn't somebody. I remember it was somebody I didn't agree with. Because what did Kevin Owens do? He jumped off a sign. Okay, that's fine.
He had some nice, very interesting matches.
You struggle because this wasn't NXT. I understand. There was no Finn Balor. Gotcha.
Oh my gosh!
I got somebody better for you.
I
got somebody better for you. I got somebody who reinvented themselves during this pandemic era. I got somebody who was hot before, but was getting a little bit stale. So they had to come out there and say, what can we do to make you better? And they went out there and they broke records. They were a star. They were going to be a star even more on Monday Night Raw. However, they had to call out due to a member of their family dying. I'm talking about none other than former Women's Champion Alexa Bliss. Let's throw it up there as number 10. I don't care what you call me. I'm the man. Alexa Bliss, my number 10 pick. You're welcome. Dignity.
That's okay. Good pick, Alexa Bliss.
I know it's a good pick. I picked it.
Down to Big Daddy Cool.
I feel this needs to be said because Alexa Bliss is Big Daddy Cool. You know who I am. Acknowledge me, Christopher. Please stop with this nonsense. Listen, we're here. We're talking about the top heroes of the pandemic in wrestling, and I can't start this list without mentioning this man. This man is the reason that we're all here, the reason that we're all gathered here today, and we'll be gathered at WrestleManias from here going forward. Many of us, we've sat next to each other at wrestling events thanks to this man. Number 10, listen, it's just a number, but this guy should have been higher. And we're talking about Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is a top hero of this pandemic for the fact that this man said, we're going to go through and we're going to continue having a show. We're going to make a Thunderdome. We're going to make wrestling great again. It was amazing. He just kept going, and everybody followed suit. When Vince does something, everybody follows. So Vince McMahon, number 10.
All right. Sheriff, lay down some law. It's needed.
I'm kind of annoyed because, unfortunately, I agree with the exec. I picked Alexa Bliss. I did, because it's for all of the reasons that he said. I like the fact that Alexa Bliss reinvented herself. I like the fact that she is versatile. I like the fact that she took the Fiend gimmick and ran with it, which is not an easy thing to do. That gimmick is not very easy to pull off. It requires a lot of acting, a lot of theatrics. It requires you to be believable. And when you're in the ring, you have to be creative because you're not exactly wrestling. When I did sit down and watch the stuff with her and Randy Orton, that was probably some of my favorite parts of watching those pay-per-views and those shows. I think she did a good job, and I think she deserved to be on this list. So I put Alexa Bliss, number 10.
Very good. If I can just jump in here.
If there's some conversation, I actually think that Alexa Bliss is a good choice. I didn't choose her because she didn't really wrestle. I think she had maybe one match all year, but she knocked that character out of the park, and she worked real hard. I just think that they handled the Fiend so badly this year, or most of the year, and certainly in the big spots, that she sort of gets the stank by association. But I respect the pick, and she probably would be my 11.
Rest in peace to Larry Steve.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that. Thank you, James, watching us on Facebook, shouting out Alexa's pig just passed away. I don't know about y'all, but I'm hungry for bacon.
Well, I guess that answers mangoes next.
I don't know who didn't see that joke coming or a joke coming. Yes, it's too soon for a bacon joke. I agree. That's just terribly messed up. Hey, you know what? I apologize.
Yes, they crying on Twitter. It's so mean.
That's so mean. I followed the Instagram account. That is so sad.
That is so mean. I'm crying. Auntie Jackson in the back crying too. But anyway, I if you can get them ready for me backstage. I actually forgot. I had some some honorable mentions. I always do one of these things with honorable mentions because you can't give enough people. So I want to go through them real quick. First one I want to put a shout out to is Miz and Morrison. I think they did a fantastic job during the pandemic era. So shout out to them. Next person I want to shout out actually took a little bit of time off, came back and killed it. Had one of the best triple threat ladder matches in the last 10 years. Give it up for Mr. Sami Zayn, conspiracy theory himself. I understand that. I have that here at UPR. They're all against me. And then also somebody who got a little bit of a push on Raw, did not do well, but he did win the United States Championship, lost it, went over to SmackDown, had a little bit of promo, had a little bit of accent change, became the Intercontinental Champion. Shout out to, it's Apollo Crews.
It's Apollo!
Right, put yourself over. But that's what I am talking about. That right there, I have to say, shout out to all three of those tandems. Back to you, Jeff.
Wow, it's great to do the honorable mentions because that's really going to impact our snub section. Anyway, so my number 9, the American Dragon himself, a lot of drama, put a lot of people over, got involved with SmackDown Creative, made it definitely the best WWE main roster show, 1 out of 2, but still the best by far. Knocked it out of the park in the ring, both when he was putting himself over and others. And went out in what might be a real retirement match. Who knows? But yeah, there you see him. Daniel Bryan, my number 9. We're going to do the reverse order this time, and we're going to go clockwise. So, Sheriff?
Nice.
What say you?
So, for my number 9, I picked Randy Orton. 1, because if I put Alexa on this list, he was a big part of why that storyline worked. So Randy Orton deserves to be here. I put him higher than her because I liked his feud with Edge. I actually did enjoy that. They oversold it just a bit with, the greatest wrestling match ever, that kind of stuff. However, that match actually turned out to be pretty entertaining. I thought that they were creative in the ring, and Randy Orton showed why he's a veteran, and he is so damn good at this. So I put Randy Orton, number 9.
It's a good choice. Good choice. Big Daddy Cool, what say you, my friend?
That's a good choice. Before I give mine, I just want to drop some of these that are in the chat. Noob, watching us on Twitch, says Braun Strowman, Kevin Owens, Alexa Bliss, Andrade, Bray Wyatt, Drew McIntyre, Sasha Banks, and Bayley, Asuka, Roman Reigns, and Bobby Smashley. The Hurt Business MVP. Very good. That's a good one. Oh, the Fiend is here from Facebook. He says, Randy, boo, he burned me alive. I'm glad that the Fiend is
then
watching.
How are you here then?
You shouldn't ask questions you don't know the answer to.
Yeah, you don't want the answer to.
Right.
That's right.
My number 9 was Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho did a great job over on that other. I know. Listen, you guys wanted to make this all WWE friendly, but listen, I host an AEW show, so I have to bring AEW onto this.
Let me not.
So I'm going to break the rules, and I'm going to mention AEW people, and Chris Jericho deserves to be mentioned. Yeah, sure. He put a lot of people at risk during the pandemic by having a concert in Sturgis.
Tech support. Tech support.
So, it's that's none of that didn't have to do with wrestling. Look at what he's done for us. He sacrificed his body. He's doing great. That's Chris Jericho. At age 60, he's still entertaining us. So great job to Chris Jericho.
I think you need to do an age check there. I think he just turned 71.
Well, thank you for correcting me.
Yeah, he vests with Social Security next year. Fully.
Everybody loves singing his song during the pandemic.
Are we actually doing this? Are we actually including AEW people?
Just he is. Only one person is doing this shtick.
Because I will revert to my old list.
No, you will not. All right. Executive consultant, your pick. Your number 9.
All right. For dignity, let me start off by first saying that Steven was not supposed to be on the show. He hijacked the show, and then he started putting some stuff that was against the rules. So he will be dealt with at the end of the show.
Have you
no. It was WWE. That AEW bullshit was next week.
Why?
You talk to your Hammerlock Hangover. Put the plug up. You talk to your Hammerlock Hangover partner. Y'all talk about it on the podcast. But for today, it was supposed to be WWE only. You are out of line, sir. Hammerlock Hangover.
Because
you
of you. I know who's behind this. It's you.
Mute it. Hammerlock Hangover comes out on all podcast forums. Definitely pay attention to that. Jeff and Big Daddy Cool Steven, they'll be arguing about the fact that Evil Dose actually made a mandate, and Big Daddy Cool said, "Fuck your mandate," which he should not have done. Shame on you. You'll be dealt with. Number 9, I have to go with this person who's actually no bias. He actually debuted on the main roster this year, and he has had match after match after match after match. All fire. He had a recent match on Monday Night Raw against Xavier Woods, which was one of the best matches I've seen all month. Shows the highlight of Xavier Woods, but I'm going to have to give it to the person he wrestled and lost to, who was the only person Randy Orton allowed to do an RKO outside of like John Cena or somebody, and that is your former United States champion, Matthew Riddle. Bro.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm sorry. I heard a grunt. Did I hear a grunt? Because I know I hear a grunt. Let me check my headphones. They might have been out of sync ever since Ron yelled.
Captain Shakespeare, while he's doing some tech checks. You're number 9.
My 9 was actually the same as the sheriff. I agree. Randy Orton, oh my God, he's been on fire this pandemic. And he's been one of the people that I've been like so excited to always tune in and see what he's doing next. He had the match with Edge. I mean, it was a good match. I liked it. Definitely wasn't the greatest match ever, but it was definitely a great match. The stuff he's done with The Fiend, that was awesome. His stuff with Alexa. He's just been back to back in great, feuds and matches. One of the best points in his career, in my opinion.
All right. Excellent. Well, Gorilla, you don't have to put the graphic back up because my number 8 is also Randy Orton. So I'm going to, so I'm putting him a slot ahead of the ladies. Obviously not a big difference there. I will just say that Randy Orton has had a reputation of being a little lazy, just giving the bare minimum, which in his case is pretty darn good. But this year during the pandemic, he did not give the minimum. He gave it effort. He worked. He worked his promos. He showed personality. He did whatever was asked of him, including that ridiculous In the Dark segment, beating up legends, which was absurd. By the way, 2 nights earlier on NXT, they actually used night vision technology goggles to show Ember Moon debuting. On Raw, the primetime show, they couldn't figure out to use the same kind of technology to simulate that. No, they just had to give him welder's goggles. It was ridiculous. Anyway, Randy Orton, great year, and he's continuing it. And the only thing I wish is that he lost to The Fiend in the Inferno match and/or WrestleMania, but one of them, and took some time off. But he's been doing great, and the only reason that I have reservations about that is because he's killing it with the RK Bros. So Randy Orton's my number 8, And we're going to switch the direction again and go to to Captain Shakespeare, my underling, my daughter who has succeeded up to the rank of captain, not quite admiral yet. Nepotism. Oh, sorry.
Okay, so my number 8 is the Messiah, the Drip King, Seth Rollins. I loved his change up. I loved his, it was a slow build throughout the pandemic of him losing it. And I mean, I could have done without him taking Rey Mysterio's eye, but I feel like he was just entertaining. I enjoyed it. He just, I don't know. I like when he's heel anytime. I feel like Seth excels at being a heel. And I was just entertained with him during this pandemic. So yeah.
Very good. All right. On to the exec.
I saw Seth Rollins picked, and I was downloading the picture, and I'm like, why would somebody pick Seth Rollins? He took an eye out. That's what he did. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he had a good gimmick, but he took an eye out, or two. No, Buddy Murphy took Aleister Black. So I was like, I just don't see it. Not in the pandemic era, I just don't.
Oh, I like that pun. I like that pun.
Matches. Don't even lie.
I'm not lying. Your pick was terrible. All right, but you know who is a good pick for number 8? You know who is a good pick? His Shield brother. I know people will think I'm ranking him a little high, but you know what? I gotta say it. He disappeared for quite a while. He came back and he killed it like Sami Zayn, but like Sami Zayn, I got to give him on the lower last the 5, and that is Mr. Acknowledge Me himself. Your tribal chief, your head of the table. That's right. Roman Reigns is number 8.
8.
What the hell?
All right. So our first truly controversial pick, ladies and gentlemen. Very exciting. Wow, that was a bold pick, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. Big Daddy Cool, we're up to you.
I just want to take my time here to acknowledge a couple of these picks earlier.
Dean Malenko.
I understand that Randy Orton was picked. I don't understand that one. Randy Orton is boring. He's slow in the ring. This guy is he calls it methodical, whatever. But hey, I'm gonna respect.
Randy Orton is boring, but he was not boring this year.
I'm gonna just leave it at that. I'm gonna respect everybody's picks. They are what they are. My number 8 is MJF from AEW. I'm gonna go back to back and pick MJF. Listen, this guy started his own faction. He was side by side by Chris Jericho, put up a good match with Chris Jericho, and then started his own faction. And now they're money. Look at these guys. This MJF. You can't tell MJF is not money. Look at this guy.
The best part about your comment, Steve, is that we can just record it and put you on next week, play the same thing again, and not have you on 2 weeks in a row.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sheriff.
Okay. I am going to pick someone from WWE, unfortunately. Number 8, I have MVP.
Okay, so when we review NXT during the NXT show, nobody says it's unfortunate I have to talk about NXT. And this is a WWE show.
It would be actually it's always unfortunate when I have to talk about WWE, but I am going to pick MVP, not Hurt Business. I'm going to pick MVP because I think it was largely MVP's doing to get people to give a shita about Bobby Lashley, to care about Shelton Benjamin again, and to care about Cedric Alexander. MVP, as he was never a main event guy, even though I thought he should have been, but he was a guy who was able to get himself over and become a star, and he has memorable feuds and moments under his name. Guys like Bobby Lashley, obviously he has stuff going on for himself, but it was very, very hard for people to believe in him again, especially after those weird sister segments they had him in. Cedric Alexander was floundering in the cruiserweight division, and then Shelton Benjamin, he's obviously a veteran, but he wasn't doing much in the current times. So I think MVP did a lot to bring them to prominence and give people a reason to care about him. So I think he himself belongs on this list by himself at number 8.
All right, excellent. We are down to number 7, folks, and I'm going to say somebody that for years and years and years I've liked and respected their work. But people all around me and on the IWC and the podcast universe, he sucks, he sucks, he sucks. Well, my friends, the Celtic Warrior Sheamus, all he did this year was put on bangers. Banger after banger. Whoever you work with, it was a banger. Even Humberto Carrillo, it's a banger. Ricochet, it's a banger. Riddle, bangers. AJ Styles, bangers. Drew McIntyre, bangers. You name it, it banged. Sheamus rocked this year. Hard-hitting, stiff style. The true king of strong style. Sheamus is my number 7.
Good Sheamus pick. Never sucked, by the way.
Yeah.
I agree.
Never.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's me.
Sure.
So I actually have Alexa Bliss a little bit higher on the list because for all the reasons that were said before, but I also want to double down. I think she's always been good on the mic. That's obvious. She just, I don't know. I was amazed at the fact that she took the Fiend's gimmick and kind of made it better. I feel like she's kind of handling a little bit better than him, and she just has so many different dynamics to her. I've always been impressed with Alexa and, you know, her range in terms of her acting. So yeah, I definitely have to give it to Alexa.
That's a good point. I've never thought that she was all that interesting before, like when she was her Alexa Bliss character, but like she shows a lot of depth, you know, in this new transformation.
I always saw her as like mini Trish Stratus from like 2004. Like originally before she was doing things, and now she kind of has all these different sides to her, which I like.
Yep.
Even though I think Trish Stratus is a bit better of a face, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
In a world of female wrestlers who are getting more and more statuesque and Amazonesque, when you are someone of Alexa's size and has suffered injuries, you have to distinguish yourself somehow. And she really took this character on her own. And the creepy possessed thing works with her diminutive stature. It harkens back to Chucky and Leprechaun and Troll and just a million other things, Damien of the Omen. Just somehow the smaller it is, the even more terrifying it is, because that's the opposite of what we're supposed to believe. It's just like
Jeff. It's funny that you mentioned all of those characters, because those are the same gimmicks that are going to show up this Sunday night at Double or Nothing on AEW. So tune into AEW. For
new faction.
That's gonna be like the 24th faction is going to be Chucky, Damien, and some other guy.
It's going to be Legends of the Nymph or whatever.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, cool. Look for gnomes. Lots of gnomes.
Lots of gnomes, trolls.
Drake Maverick will regret taking that NXT contract now. All right. Executive consultant, you're lucky number 7.
I want to acknowledge the fact that somebody actually gave Alexa Bliss the credit that she deserves. I'm very proud of you, Captain Shakespeare. You're learning under the learning tree. But let's go ahead and say somebody that it's a tandem that I didn't really see mentioned, and I'm a little surprised by it, because I felt like they last year they were great. They were on fire, and they had everybody saying that we want the smoke. The Street Profits did such a great job last year. They were the tag team of the year, in my opinion. Some people might say the Young Sucks. Well, let me tell you something. It's not the Young Sucks. It's not FTR. The Street Profits did a great job. Scrunch up your nose all you want. Sheriff, Trey Marquise. You know what? Bananas don't talk, so if anybody should stay on mute, it's you. But this coming Friday on SmackDown is going to be the Usos versus the Street Profits, and that's a match I can't wait to see, because Street Profits killed it last year. That is my number 7 pick, Dignity.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I actually forgot. You just like unlocked a memory in my mind. Like, I don't even know why I didn't put him on the list.
Did you remember that the Street Profits sucked? And actually, I hate
Oh my gosh!
And Angelo Dawkins is actually the good one now.
Who the good one is? Okay, we know who the good one is.
Oh wow!
They were pretty good this. Yeah. Oh my God! I know I forgot. I'm so mad at myself now.
All right,
it was
BDC.
a good pick. Yeah.
All right, my number 7th pick is going to shock a lot of you guys, and that is Randy Orton. Randy Orton did a great job of entertaining a lot of people this year. And look at him. This guy is very methodical in the ring. He's just amazing. It's just wow. Can't be more impressed with what Randy Orton has done this year. And he's put over Keith Lee. Yeah, remember y'all remember Keith Lee? Anybody remember here? No, nobody remembers Keith Lee. Put over Keith Lee. He just put over Riddle. So he's doing his thing, man. Good job, Randy. This is how you put people over, unlike Shawn Michaels, who never put anybody over.
Ah, great pick. Sheriff, you up.
Cool. Let me just address this. Trey, I'm a bit concerned. The 11-year-old girls that you know act like Alexa Bliss. Yeah, you might want to record
so many
that.
questions
know any
we shouldn't
girls.
be asking without a lawyer present.
Also, friendly reminder that John Silver has a clean win over Keith Lee. Moving on. Number 7, I have Kevin Owens.
Who?
Because
Long John Silver?
John Silver? Johnny Hungy, yep, of Dark Order from AEW.
John Silver and whatever Hungy sounds like Keith Lee lost to a meal. Like, you got to clarify who this person is. Like,
I'm sorry, what BFW hall was this and where, Indiana?
It was. It has a lot of views on YouTube, actually.
That doesn't answer the question.
Like AEW Dark views or Impact views?
Lodge 11 in front of 110 people, 14 of them were staff.
It was a lot of people, and they were loud, and they were happy that John Silver won. It was an indie show, though, truthfully.
Yeah.
25 people in a VFW hall.
Right.
In a bingo hall somewhere. Number 7, I have Kevin Owens. Because
but in that bingo hall, in the bingo tumbler, was FTR, Imperium, Thatcher and Ciampa, grizzled young veterans, Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch, and they just twirled them all around, and nobody cared who came out. Oh, sorry. I heard bingo hall, and it just happens.
Sheriff, I wanted you to arrest me, but not anymore. But why? That's all I ever wanted to do was arrest.
Don't
Trey.
look a gift horse. Okay.
Let's not flirt with the host because she is married, ladies and gentlemen. She just announced that at the beginning of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember, but we have to go to a commercial. And while that happens, I did get a message from your wife. She says you need to hurry this up. All right, Jeff.
Ignore him.
Lead us to the commercial, Jeff.
Everyone, like, share, subscribe, follow, tell your friends, and watch this commercial right now.
He does this great joke where he's rapping on Moxley, and then he brings up Renee without bringing her up by name, and he makes fun about her podcast being called Oral Sessions and how she keeps hitting him up for some oral sessions. I'll give Moxley this. I can't stand Moxley. I hate this guy. As Anthony Bowens gets into the ring, and he's all like, what? We're just talking about the podcast. Moxley comes out of nowhere and just pop.
I'm glad that you weren't a hater about this. This was funny. I usually am not that big on the rap stuff because his bars aren't usually as tight as they were today. Not even just the Oral Sessions line, but the Eddie at the Bodega line. Like he came through with some cool punchlines there. I thought that was probably the best part. And then he was like, "What's up, AEW?" Moxley just gets him straight out of there. I thought that was very funny.
I thought that was Cesar's finest moment.
That was amazing. And let me tell you something. I don't know what was more amazing. One, you did a terrible job going into a commercial. Two, the sheriff I heard of the AEW show the last episode a couple minutes ago. Now she's on this episode and she's in the commercial. So clearly you want to be the new Caden Dirt Sheets all over UPR. And then that was a good commercial. That was funny though. That was funny. It was the best part about the commercials. Y'all mentioned the Acclaim.
You know what was the best part of the commercial? That we had Iron Man on it. Like, who knew? And he didn't even say anything.
I'm pretty sure that was a kid in Iron Man pajamas.
Caden is going to get his ass whooped. Him and Auntie Jack against me and David Sanderson, the technician, coming up later this summer.
The worst part of that commercial was watching myself.
Wow, really?
Oh, you're that. Okay, yeah, I picked Kevin Owens. We can move on. Yeah.
For number
Kevin Owens is from Quebec. That's racist. Okay, so
you're
number
canceled.
6. He was mentioned earlier. He's had a great year. Debuted, and he also just puts on good match after good match. No matter who he works with, it's been a good match. Some of the lines they've been giving him have been a little bit over the top, but he's also delivered some of the funniest things this year in WWE TV. I am very much enjoying the zip the lips, and he throws away his own key these days. I mean, just when he said, "I'm from Earth," we're both from Earth. I mean, it's just so natural. It was great. So my number 6 is Chris's BFF romance, Matt Riddle.
That's not dignity. You can call him my friend because he is, but do not call him bromance. There's no bromance there between me and Mr. Matthew Riddle.
Matt, I'm available.
You have La Sicaria, okay? Everybody, I feel like everybody
is different.
I'm the only single person on this panel right now. And I should tell you something, but we got somebody making babies. We got people.
Indeed, it should.
Captain Shakespeare, I think you're next.
Yeah, you are. You are, Captain. Permission to come on board.
My next pick was Asuka. I feel like I really don't have to explain. She was on fire. I feel like she kind of didn't I feel like a lot of times people who, maybe aren't the best with speaking, English, they try to rely so much on trying to learn the language and, doing their promos, trying to struggle through that. Instead, she was just like, I'm going to speak in my language and it's going to work. And it was actually pretty entertaining. It was pretty funny a lot of times. And the Green Mist, winning Money in the Bank, that was awesome as well. She had really great matches with, Sasha. She's great. I love Asuka.
Nice
that's not a bad one, Captain Shakespeare. You're definitely. Oh my God, is that a dog?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Hi, puppy.
I'm having Sparky flashbacks. So I was over here looking. I'm sorry, and that was a good pick, Shakespeare. It really was. Same thing to you for Evil Dose. I was reading these comments here, and I saw we didn't get to number 6 for you yet. I saw Unpopular Review talk about somebody doesn't care about the wrestling fans. So well, who could have put that? Obviously, it had to be Big Daddy Cool. There had to be Unpopular Review typing that. So, my number 6, this was actually somewhat mentioned. Yes, I know. Somewhat mentioned a little bit earlier. I'm going to piggyback off. I'm going to localize it. And let's just cut to the chase. Earlier tonight, the sheriff said so eloquently that MVP deserves a spot because of everything that he did for the Hurt Business and the guys that are in the Hurt Business. I completely agree. I'm not going to pick MVP, but I completely agree with everything she says. The person I'm going to pick is currently your almighty WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and that is Bobby Lashley. As Kofi called him on Monday.
What the hell?
It's Bobby Smashley. Thank you.
Somebody is getting fired for being racist, and I just don't understand why I say Bob Lashley and I see a picture of Apollo Crews. That is so freaking racist.
Black on black violence must end.
So freaking racist. You should be ashamed of yourself. I was talking about the WWE World Champion, Bobby Lashley, not the Intercontinental Champion, Apollo Crews. That was terrible, and you messed up what I was about to say. I was about to give this man a glowing recommendation.
That was actually really funny.
You would find that funny. I agree. I agree with Trey Marquis here. Not all black people look alike.
Steven, why do you keep saying that?
Trey and Bad Guy Jack don't look alike. Trey look like he has some weight. Ron looks like he does not. See how that goes there?
Oh, wow.
Big Daddy Cool, we're on you.
Hashtag not all black people.
Bobby Lashley, number 6.
Hashtag keep kayfabe.
Hold on.
You want to talk about
Samara, can you repeat that? I need to take down some notes here.
See how he ruins things. See how he
as the official delegate of the old white male demographic. I need what was that? I need to write it down.
Hashtag not all black people look alike.
I did.
Okay. What's a hashtag?
The number sign.
I like the old jokes. They're funny. Good job there, Evil Dose.
That was funny.
Chris, don't you find it funny that when we're talking about this hashtag we were just talking about, that
Don't do
Dave
it.
shows up?
Don't do that.
That's all.
Do not do that. He is not like that. Don't do that. Gosh, I knew that was going to happen.
That's all I'm going to say.
And we in a popular review, and I'm speaking for a popular review in UPR, we do not body shame at all. If you are a toothpick like Ron, you can be a toothpick like Ron. Now, just because you don't want to eat, that is completely on you. I have no problem with that. Now, on the other hand, if you're a fat...
And on the other hand, if you want to look like Larry Steve in Trey's body, then that's fine. You can do that too. Love your body. Hashtag love your body. Thank you. Love your skin.
Which black person is Trey again?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's me. I am Trey.
Wow. Well, Steven.
Thank you. I thought so.
Go ahead.
Oh, my God. All right, number 6. I'm going to pick
How
pretty much
rude? Did you not just hear what Jeff said? I'm rude. What the hell are you talking about?
Jeff's racist.
Jeff's not racist.
Oh,
Canceled.
he's stupid.
Jeff's canceled.
Fire him. Cancel Jeff. Hashtag cancel Jeff.
My fault. I did this completely wrong.
Did I do that right? Hashtag cancel Jeff.
I had this up here. I should have did this. This makes more sense right here, right? Okay, so
This show has gone off the rails.
oh my God. Hold on.
I'm calling corporate.
We went from body shaming. We went from body shaming to racism to now we're being bigots, right?
Wait, comment up there. What is factitious? Oh, facts, idiot.
Oh, that's what I said. I thought he was trying to talk about somebody's sexual orientation. My fault.
Can we agree that David cannot type? Can we all agree on that?
Right.
Hashtag common ground.
Right.
He can't talk and he can't type.
Steven, I'm sorry. Jeff is not doing a good job.
I think now is a good time to tell everybody that you're watching Unpopular Review. Please make sure you like, love, and share this broadcast with all your wrestling buddies. And,
followers.
if you're watching us on Facebook, please leave a like, love, and all those emojis that you can do. And then if you're watching us on YouTube, please make sure you leave a like and subscribe. We like talking about wrestling here. We got a plethora of hosts with a lot of different opinions. That's
we might not have tomorrow.
We might not have a YouTube channel tomorrow, but we have one now.
Group list, so a lot of publicity.
I want to shout out James. I want to shout out all the people that have liked. Thank you, Chris. I want to shout out all the people that have left likes on Facebook.
Great recovery.
Most of them are on this show right now. So
What is happening?
You know what, Trey? I don't see your name here on the likes. Why don't you leave a like?
Did Mad Dog Kelly like it? I know Matt.
I don't see his name here.
What about mango, banana, and the other fruits?
Hey,
Mango Banana's not here.
Why are we still assaulting gay people? Look, all I'm saying is
they self-identify as mango and banana.
Look, all I'm saying is all people do matter. Go ahead, Big Daddy Cool. Go ahead.
Listen, y'all need to go to the doctor, and let's talk about that. That's a great segue for
Dr. Britt
my
Baker.
number 6 pick, DMD. Dr. Britt Baker is number 6 for my hero of the pandemic. She is phenomenal. She is phenomenal. You got to love what she's doing in the ring, and especially outside the ring. Hello, these promos, Shivani, hashtag conspiracy, all of this. She is amazing. Amazing. I can't find not one person that does not like going to the dentist.
Have you seen her Yelp reviews for her dental practice?
What's that?
Have you seen her Yelp reviews as a dentist?
Those are all WWE haters. I mean, those are AEW haters and AEW fans. I mean, WWE fans. Yeah, you got it. You know what I mean.
Is it Little Shop of Horrors level?
We really don't, Chris. We really don't.
Cool. It's me, right?
I didn't say anything. What's going on right now?
I'm talking to Chris, Steve.
We don't look alike. He's Colombian or something.
We both have heads or something.
Canceled.
Whose number 6 is it now?
Sheriff's up.
Somehow it's me. Okay, so we're on number 6, right? I picked Daniel Bryan because I like the WrestleMania feud that he had with Edge and Roman. I know a lot of people felt like he was being kind of whiny. I felt like the points he made were good. I felt like his matches were good because obviously Daniel Bryan can wrestle. I liked his heel run earlier, like in 2020. I feel like Daniel Bryan is always just a solid pick. I feel like putting Daniel Bryan on this list is like putting John Cena on the list in years past. He's just a solid guy that you know will always deliver. Even though a lot of people like to hate on John Cena, I think subconsciously people knew that Cena had a lot of good things going for him. So I put Daniel Bryan.
Solid pick. All right. Hey, guys, we are into top 5 territory. What the heck was that?
He just undressed and then left.
Did the bad guy, was he losing a fight to a towel? Is that what we just witnessed?
I think that's what we were witnessing. He was jumped by a Smurf.
All right. My number 5 could easily hold any other position in this top 10. And I put her at number 5 because she shared a lot of duties with one person in particular, but a few others. My number 5 is Bayley, who was the SmackDown Women's Champion almost the entire year, if not the entire year. She was a co-holder of the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships for a long time. Went to NXT as well, defended the titles there. She did a heel turn, a great heel turn, one of the best heel turns in years in WWE. And the only reason she's not ranked higher is because she did almost everything with Sasha, and she was just as good, if not better. And they also did a hell of a lot of their work with Asuka as well, who was also, arguably one of the workhorse of the year. So unfortunately for Bayley, because her gimmick is she gets no respect, she's gained the least amount of respect for me, and I'm putting her at 5 out of that triad of terrificness. But all of those women deserve a nod because they were 3 outstanding performers this year for WWE's main roster. Bayley, my 5.
I agree with you, Jeff. I wish I could do a lot of things to Sasha.
We all wish
Sammy Guevara yourself.
Oh my God.
That's right. That's exactly. Hashtag Big Daddy Cool is Sammy Guevara.
Canceled.
Right. Okay. All right. Where's Ricochet? Where indeed? I recommend to you, James, that you watch a movie called The Main Event. Captain Shakespeare, who is your number 5?
My number 5 was actually a faction. I went with the Hurt Business. I just, come on, like you can't deny MVP did wonders for these 3 men. I still am very confused as to why they were broken up, but I guess I would have to hunt Vince McMahon down and figure that out. But for what he did for these men and how they really took over, like they really were taking over for a good portion of the pandemic, I thought it was amazing. And I have to give them their flowers, more specifically MVP. Yes, Bobby Lashley is the main face, but it's definitely MVP that is the MVP of that group.
In the words of one of my favorite memes, they're not going to let a nigga have nothing.
Yes.
That's why they got broken up.
Yes.
What are you guys talking about? Her business is not broken up. Cedric and Shelton got replaced by 4 lovely ladies.
5.
5
if you count both weeks.
You missed the 5th one behind, Lashley's broad shoulders. Like you can't see her behind.
Did you see these women? They look like they have broad shoulders themselves. Let me go ahead and go with mine right here. First of all,
wow, that is rude. Wow,
shaming again. Wow,
this is why you're single.
I'm fine with it. Bayley's my number 1 for this year. She really was able to develop her heel persona in the PC era without fans, which definitely helped her look more confident instead of scared. Sorry, Mike Reyes is chatting. Mike Reyes, who I've not seen here in a while, but when he used to leave comments, people's faces would disappear. So I think you're perfectly fine there, David. You just still ruining things. Number 5, I'm going to give it up to somebody who was actually doing really, really well during the pandemic era, but unfortunately, the last couple months dropped his stock down to the point where now I'm going to have to give him when he might have had a top 3 to barely make it a top 5. And I'm talking about none other than somebody who's probably going to wrestle. Somebody's probably going to wrestle Bob Lashley at Hell in a Cell. And I'm talking about former 2-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion Drew McIntyre is my number 5 pick. As much as he annoyed me the last couple months, probably not his fault. I can't deny the fact that for the first 6, 7, 8 months there, he was really doing a good job, having great matches. I still think he's one of the better wrestlers out there because he has the look of a perfect wrestler. He has the height. He has the size. He can wrestle. He has agility of a man who should not, for a man that size. He's very good at what he does. Big shout out to Drew McIntyre, my number 5.
That's the same face I made when I had 4 kids.
This is why AEW runs long, because the man has a joke after every freaking.
That's not the only thing running long. Hey,
scale of 1 to 10, which was cool.
Just walked into that one, Christopher. Yeah, baby. My number 5th pick comes from NXT. I had somebody else here, but I'm changing it up. My number 5th pick comes from NXT.
What is the number 5th pick? That's bothering me. I tried to do it the first time. What is the number 5th pick?
We're at number 5, right? It's my 5th pick. Do you not know? We counting down, right?
He was grammar Naziing you because you said number 5th.
He's inappropriate.
That's racist.
Him. It is racist.
Yeah,
This guy's picking on the on one of the very few Latinos on the network. This is ridiculous. Can't believe
What is this, AEW?
This is AEW. He's gonna bury me like they do Pentagon on Wednesday nights. Anyways, my 5th pick comes from NXT. This guy has done a great job transforming himself into the superstar that he is. And he's going to be destined to be for years to come. I honestly hated this guy from Jump Street because I don't like supernatural gimmicks. I also don't like bayou gimmicks. I don't like swampy gimmicks. And this guy, I gotta tell you, I don't
like wrestling.
And they took this country bumpkin. First, they washed this guy. He used to be tag team partners with Otis. And then they took off his dirty white shirt and blue collar and then gave him a snakeskin vest. And now this guy's teaming up with $1 Million Man. Cameron Grimes, everybody. Cameron Grimes is my number 5th pick. He's amazing. I'm glad that they transitioned Tucker into Cameron Grimes. It's amazing. Great job, Tucker. Now people give a fuck about Tucker. Before, nobody gave a fuck about Tucker. Fuck Tuck. That's what everybody... People used to, people used to say that. Well, I mean, it was mostly me that started that, but people used to say "fuck Tuck," "fuck Tuck."
Well, then they cared.
But now they care because he's Cameron Grimes. So congratulations.
That was a great use of time. All right, Sheriff, you're up.
Well, if they care enough to say "fuck you," then they care enough. Number 5, I chose Edge. Not because he did the most this year, but because I felt like he was put in the positions where he had the most pressure. He got put in that greatest wrestling match of all time BS that Vince McMahon came up with. I don't know where he got that from. And also because he was coming off of just being gone for so long due to his injury. A lot of people were really excited to see what he could still do in the ring, see what he could do on the mic. And then he walked right into winning the Royal Rumble and main eventing WrestleMania. So I think everything that Edge did was just at the top and high caliber, and he had a lot of pressure going for him. And coming through with ring rust and at his age, I think that it would have been very easy for him to flounder and end up probably one of the most hated people in the company. 1, for being overpushed at his age, and 2, just not really delivering when put in that spot. And I feel like he knocked it out of the park, and I just think that when you have the most pressure and you are able to handle it better than a lot of people, I feel like that puts you higher even if you didn't do much. So I put Edge number 5.
Okay. Solid pick there. All right. We are down to our 4 horsemen. So in my case, it's probably going to be no surprise who at least 2 of my next 4 are, but here it is. I'm going to go with Asuka. She was arguably the workhorse of the year. She was the Intercontinental Champion, workhorse, work rate champion of the year for sure. She held the tag team titles for a while. I think she held both women's championships at different points. She's done whatever she's been asked to do. She was a heel. She used the mist. She got truly misty-eyed when she won Money in the Bank, and the next night Becky revealed that she was pregnant. She was getting the Raw Women's Championship. That was an actual touching moment, a real moment during a year of sort of contrived crap. Arguably, she could have been any. If someone told me she was number 1, I wouldn't say that they were wrong. And again, I think that this top echelon, there were some real standouts, and I, for one, have a bit of a cop-out towards the top as well. So without further ado, Asuka, the Empress of Tomorrow.
Great pick.
Thank you.
Me again.
You again.
My number 4 pick was Roman Reigns. Come on. Guys, he may have not been there for like the very beginning. He came in a little late, but he made an impact when he came in. The tribal chief gimmick is outstanding. He had great matches with Kevin Owens. He's in his moment. As I've said this numerous times. I compared him to The Rock in terms of the Shield was his Nation of Domination time. His time after the Shield was his Rocky Maivia time, and he is now in his The Chosen One time. That's what I'm saying, and I'm sticking to it. And I agree. I agree with myself. Yeah. Roman.
All right. Well, Trey Marquis obviously doesn't watch MLW because Savio Vega has been working in MLW and is an owner of ICW, which is the Puerto Rican Fed that has a relationship with MLW.
That's right, Trey. You want to go see Savio Vega? Go watch MLW. It's great.
But it's good that you tune into us for the expertise and the inside knowledge.
That's right.
Edge will be back on the first live episode of SmackDown. It's already been announced. Yes, Roman did take time off. Edge is the third Royal Rumble winner along with Chris Benoit as well as Shawn Michaels. We already answered that question, and Asuka's English has improved because all she does is yell and talk just like this because no one is ready for Asuka, even though she lost 3 matches in a row.
But that's the same way that you host most of your shows on UPR.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Unpopular.
Good point, Steve. Good point.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, watch an Unpopular Review. If you have not done so already, please make sure that you hit that like button, that love button, or that share button. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
Disagree.
Remember, on YouTube, we have 2 YouTube channels, Unpopular Review as well as UPRE, which you can get for all your entertainment pleasures. We review a lot of stuff over there. We'll talk more about that. Number 4 is somebody who's been mentioned quite a few times. I'm going ahead and put him at number 4. He did a great job. I agree. I think of everybody who mentioned him earlier, I think Shakespeare said it the best when it comes to describing this person. This person's been in business for almost 20 years now on the main roster. And he's won multiple, 14 in fact, world championships. He won his last world championship last year at Hell in a Cell. Now, the good thing about this is of all those years, I somewhat agree with Steven. At times, his wrestling matches can be boring. At times, his promos can be boring. But if anything I saw out of him this year, it was that he was able to improve upon all of that. And he talked about it in his interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm talking about somebody who has so many feuds that made them all seem personal. One thing, if you watch the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Heavyweight Championship of the World in February or March, whenever it was, you will see that Randy Orton had a personal connection, a personal feud at one point in time with every competitor in there, whether it be Drew McIntyre, AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Kofi Kingston, and Sheamus. Personal vendettas with all of them at one point in time. That is the credit of my number 4 pick, Randall
Charlotte
Keith Orton. And Randy Orton, here is a fun fact. He's actually injured. He's working through some injuries. He was actually supposed to take some time off after WrestleMania, but he requested to stay because he wanted to work with somebody and bring them up to a different level. He wanted to put somebody over, and that person's name is Matt Riddle. Steven, on you.
The bromance is real.
Wow, you're breaking news. You're breaking kayfabe. No, cool. No, it's not cool. Not in my house.
So your number 4 is who? Joseph Samael?
What number pick am I up to?
4.
My 4th pick. I'm going to agree with my co-host of the Hammerlock Hangover, Jeff. I'm going to pick Asuka. Asuka has been a force, an entertainment force. Not only has she carried us in the pandemic era, but she had to carry this lopsided team, this boring-ass pirate in, what's her name again? The pirate?
Kairi Sane.
Thank you. She had to carry this dead weight into the pandemic and then released her. They say, you know what they say about things that you love? If you love something, let it go. And if it comes back, it's meant to be. If it doesn't come back, then it wasn't supposed to happen. And that's what happened. She said, see you later, Kairi. And Kairi left. And we never heard from her again. And there we go. And now Asuka has grown to leaps and bounds. She climbed the ladder proverbially and literally from Money in the Bank. That was one of the best Money in the Banks ever. And the same Money in the Bank where 2 people died. Remember that? 2 people died during that.
They're out there. One is the tag team champion. Rey Mysterio did not die. Neither did Aleister Black, who just came back. What are you talking about?
Aleister Black died.
Aleister Black is still alive. He just was on SmackDown. He attacked Big E.
Not alive.
Totally different guy.
You don't have to be alive to be on SmackDown. We've seen that happen multiple
Totally different guy. There's 2 guys. Death happened. Corbin.
True story. It wasn't Rey Mysterio. It was Kalisto in Rey Mysterio's outfit.
Yeah. How would you know? They're under masks. Hello.
Yeah. Nobody likes luchadors.
In America. That's why Trump is
in North America.
That's how Trump got elected, because nobody likes luchadors. Let's be real. It's okay for me to say that.
Yeah, I was about to say that. He can say it. We can't laugh though.
Asuka's the best. Asuka's amazing. Asuka.
Why? You're from Iran.
I love Asuka. Mwah. I wish I knew how to say I love Asuka in Japanese, because I would say it right now.
Doma already got them.
One last thing. I want to say this. I want to be real serious right now. I acknowledge Asuka as a country. Thank you.
This is great. Okay.
I got that joke. Number 4. How the hell do you not put Jey Uso on this list? 1, because the other guy that I have at number 1, which is kind of
Uso. What?
Wait, who was that? I wasn't even looking.
It wasn't even Jimmy Uso.
Oh my goodness. The racist. I can't. I quit. This is.
I mean, you have a 50% chance of picking a Samoan in wrestling.
Oh my god! Did I just see this comment? So now I know what I was told last night when the Manana almost appeared on the show. This is an inappropriate comment right here. Okay,
it's also wrong. Egg rolls are Chinese.
It's just all bad.
I apologize, Sheriff. I just had to get that out. Go ahead.
Okay. Where was I? Right. Jey Uso. Anyway, I
thought
was
it was
always.
My bad.
I was always a believer in the Usos, not only as a tag team, but as singles guys. I always thought at least one of them, if they got a singles run, they could last. Jey Uso was, his brother went down with an injury. His cousin actually went away. He came back after his cancer thing. I'm glad that and also because of COVID, I'm glad that he was able to recover from that. And he's thrust into the main event. He's in the top faction in the entire business, right? And he's put into the Elimination Chamber. He's running around with Roman Reigns. This is Roman's best run of his career, and he needs his cousin to come through for him and help him get to where he needs to be. Not only did Jey Uso do that for him, he did so at the expense of his own character, because he is kind of running around looking like a little bitch. But he does it because he's a team player. He does it in service of the best faction that's going in wrestling right now. He does it in service of Roman's best run. I think that Jey Uso deserves to be here because he is a part of why Roman Reigns is what he is. I liken it to what AJ Lee did for Daniel Bryan. Obviously, actually, no, it's kind of the same because Daniel Bryan treated AJ like his little bitch too, and then Roman Reigns treats Jey Uso like his little bitch. But they do it in service of the heel character. They do it to get the guy over. They do it because it is probably that dynamic is the most interesting part of the faction for me. And it drills home that not only do we hate Roman because people hated Roman anyway, now he has an actual character arc and an actual character element that we actually dislike about him. And when Jey Uso does get his comeuppance, especially with his brother now, he is elevated on another level. He's not just Jey Uso tag team guy. We know him now as a singles guy who can carry his own, and I am interested to see when he turns face and he gets his comeuppance, which I think will happen. I'm now interested to see him go out and branch on his own. So I put Jey Uso on this list because if you put Roman anywhere on this list, it's not really fair to not put Jey there because he is a part of it just as much as Roman is too.
You know what?
Well
Life's
said.
not
Here,
fair.
here.
Thank you for watching Unpopular Review as we get into Olympic medalist territory. Yes, the bronze, silver, and gold is coming up. But first, you have to listen to this commercial. See you soon.
I didn't know half those matches. I didn't know what the story was. And I've seen him wrestle a few times, and every time it was just like, oh, he's doing a death match. And I'm like, oh, all right. I mean, I guess, this might be the time for me to go use the bathroom or something or look real confused. I don't understand.
And in my mind, for deathmatch, finality. So when you're starting with a deathmatch, it's like this is supposed to be like this is it. This is the last straw. This is not the hey, I just met you. Let's kill each other. Like
that's what I thought it was like a deathmatch supposed to be like. No, we really gotta settle it in this way. Like it gotta be bloody, it gotta be brutal. And in that regards, I understand it. Like fine, okay. Like, it makes sense if this is how you have to end this, if this person's been doing some messed up shit to you over the feud, and you're like, no, I'm not gonna really kick your ass. And I'm like, all right, but just like, this feud just happened like 2 seconds ago, and now it's like, no, blood, barbed wire, glass. Like, but how? How we get here? Like, this is an escalation already? Like,
boom, boom. Welcome back, folks, to our Hollow Ground territory. And I'm going to get right into it with my number 3, my bronze medalist. And I put her above the other 2 ladies I mentioned earlier. And this is Sasha Banks. Why does she get number 3? Because she was simply perfect this year. I don't think she did anything wrong. I think she was flawless in the ring, out of the ring. Her character, heel, face, didn't matter. I think that she's been perfect this year. Excellent matches. Coordinated outfits with hair color, the whole thing, everything perfect.
The only thing that she's been doing that she's done wrong this past year is not return my DMs. It's a shame.
Cool. All right, Captain Shakespeare.
All right, my number 3 was Drew McIntyre. I feel like he carried Raw on his back for this pandemic. He had some really awesome matches as well. I feel like he carried that match with Goldberg to be halfway decent. He's just been on fire, and I'm so happy for him because I feel like, he has such a road from being fired and coming back and, getting that title. And I felt bad for him that he didn't get that moment, when he won the Royal Rumble. He didn't get that moment at Mania, with the crowd, at the Performance Center. But he held his composure and he did his thing, and I love Drew.
Okay, that's nice. Executive consultant, who's your number 3?
I can't disagree with any of y'all picks right now, but I'm going to go ahead and say that this pick was already picked by a few people, and I'm going to say. And I'm going to say that I believe she was a workhorse, as Jeff said earlier. She had, fun fact, she had the most matches of any woman, pretty much almost any wrestler last year, and that is the former Raw Women's Champion, Asuka. Asuka went out there and she carried the Raw. You want to talk about somebody carrying something on their back? She carried the Raw Women's Division on her back for a while, especially when Charlotte got injured. Shayna wasn't doing anything. Becky was on maternity leave. You were out there. And she was wrestling. And let's be real, this time last year, well, not this time last year, but a couple months after, Raw's women's division was not looking good. Nia and Shayna were just becoming a tag team, and Charlotte was injured. Becky was pregnant. They had to bring Sasha and Bayley over with the tag team championships just to give Asuka some competition. Then when SmackDown was fiending a little bit for competition, they had Asuka face both of them at SummerSlam, if I remember correctly. That's how much Asuka was a workhorse for this company. Asuka deserves her flowers, as Shakespeare said earlier with MVP. I'm giving those flowers to Asuka because I don't give a lot of flowers out. That's why I'm single, and that's why I hate Valentine's Day. I don't give a lot of flowers out, but if I were to give flowers out, I'm going to give it to Asuka. She did a great job, and she also, like Randy Orton, in my opinion, needs to take some time off because she's clearly injured from working as hard as she's worked. She can take some time off. She deserves it. Asuka, number 3.
It's definitely the reason why you've been divorced a couple times.
Also, is that cool?
I point out that both those matches she had at SummerSlam were bangers. Like, it wasn't even one that was like lacking. That's crazy. I don't know.
Asuka very rarely has a bad match. Very rarely.
Very true.
But very rarely.
Unless Rhea Ripley's in the ring.
She has not found her chemistry with Rhea. But a part of that, I think, is because she's injured. But she has not had a good match with Rhea yet. And she's been losing a lot. Let's give her some time off. Who,
Asuka or Rhea?
Asuka has been losing a lot.
Yeah.
Let's give her some time off.
But she can she's built herself up and she's got a pedigree now.
You're not going to take anything away from Asuka because she's losing a lot. Don't get me wrong. She's the only superstar to win the Raw, SmackDown, NXT. the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, wins the Royal Rumble, won the Money in the Bank. She's the only woman that's done all of that. So you can't take anything away from Asuka because nobody is ready for Asuka. But she needs some time off because she keeps losing. Steven, you're number 3.
Not only that, but before I jump into my number 3, like we failed to mention, we're all bringing up different stuff, and that's great. But we failed to mention that not only that, but before the Thunderdome, there was like this 2-month period of like these silent matches around like the ring alone. And remember when Asuka was on commentary?
Yeah.
Like so that was hilarious.
She was doing it on Raw and SmackDown. There was no reason for her to come to SmackDown. Matter of fact, she had the tag team titles. She was the only one showing up. It wasn't Kairi Sane showing up on both shows either.
Oh, well, again, because she's
Asuka. Stop. Don't disrespect Kairi Sane. But it was Asuka that was doing that. Here we go.
You know what? You're right. Kairi Sane was good when they gave her a flute. She was real over, really entertaining after she traded in that pirate wheel and looking like goofy ass Captain Crunch with the pirate wheel and started playing that flute. Marvelous.
I just want to point out that Kairi Sane has a win over Keith Lee. I mean Pentagon.
What? No.
Big Daddy Cool, who is your number 3?
My number 3 is the tribal chief Roman Reigns. I would have ranked him higher, but again, he showed up late to the party. But my man is the main event of the party now. And this guy, he's transformed. I mean, even while he was out, like, you guys remember that this guy cut a promo while, like, running on the side of a road? He wasn't even, like, back full time. And the guy cut a promo on his phone. And, like, everybody was like, yo, where is this, like, tough guy Roman? And you saw him do it recently, too. Like, he was running on his treadmill in his basement. Like, just woke up a Saturday morning, was like, you know what? I'm going to cut a promo right now on the treadmill. Like, this dude is amazing. He is so entertaining. And not only that, but, like, to Sheriff's point, because she picked Jay, this man, remember when they put Jay up against Roman and everybody's like, yo, this is ridiculous. No one buys this. No one buys Jey Uso as a singles competitor. This man stretched Jey Uso to 3 months worth of pay-per-views. And we bought it and enjoyed it. Roman Reigns did that. I
remember when they said that the Usos were stealing the Briscoes gimmick.
Yeah, like
imagine. Let that marinate.
I definitely remember people were like, Jey Uso, ? I'm like, you'll see.
Yeah. And you know what? Roman put over Jey Uso, and now you buy Jey Uso as a singles competitor because of Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns. Oh, well, yes, a little bit. But I mean, again, you need Roman to put him over. If he was doing that against Ricochet, they ain't ringing no bells. Yeah. Nobody's calling their mom, hey, watch this Jey Uso Ricochet match. But Roman Reigns. There you go.
It's time for the Sheriff.
Let's go, Sheriff. You go. Roman Reigns.
Cool. Number 3, I picked Bianca Belair because I feel like she is a rising star for WWE, and it happened during the pandemic era. So therefore, I think she belongs in the top 3. She main evented Mania. She won the Royal Rumble, and she's the champion. I love Bianca Belair. I don't even watch no WWE, but I'll watch me some Bianca Valera. One, because they were the first black females to main event WrestleMania, and it was just the 2 of them. It was definitely an emotional moment, and I feel like it meant more like in wrestling, and it means a lot more outside of wrestling, especially when you look at the history of WWE. Bianca Belair was a part of that moment, and I feel like going forward, she will be a star for them in that women's division. And so I put her number 3, Bianca Belair.
Number 2. I don't care that he was only back for part of the year. He's been that damn good. Everyone has said most everything that needs to be said, but he's come back and he's made the Universal Championship unquestionably the most important title in wrestling, period. Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, my number 2. If he worked for a full year, probably would have been number 1.
Thank you, Trey.
All right, so my number 2, she's already been mentioned, but I'm throwing her out again. Bayley. I loved Bayley during this, time during the pandemic. Oh man, I was not the biggest fan of Bayley in the beginning. Like, I didn't like the whole with the ponytail thing, but once she made this transformation and she really found her own, and I feel like she kind of she has a certain way that she talks. She has a type of personality, and I feel like she got more comfortable in just speaking that way instead of trying to talk another way as she did previously. And it works for her. She's quirky, she's different, and she is a great heel. She had a great tag title run with Sasha, and yeah, she did her thing this pandemic. I love her, and she's one of my favorites now, which is crazy, So I love Bayley.
Not a bad choice. Not a bad choice at all. Mr. Executive Consultant, if you please.
Yeah.
You're on mute.
Not a bad choice by Caps there. Good job right there. Evil Dose also really good. No matter, as long as you put Roman in there, I'm happy. As long as you put Bayley in there, I'm happy because both of them did a fantastic job. More to come on that later. My number 2, I haven't heard for a while, but I have to say I got to give her credit. I'm going to give her credit because I think she had a fire year. And second and only to the person, obviously, who I picked as number 1, but the person that Captain Shay just picked, this person was right there with her almost the entire time. And then we heard about Bianca Bel-Air. Bianca Bel-Air did a great job, but that WrestleMania main event had 2 bodies. And I think if it wasn't for the fact that this person right here, Sasha Banks, was not in that match, it would not have been as good. It would not have been as impactful. Bianca Belair is a stellar athlete. I've been saying it ever since she got called up to the main roster that she was a star in the making and it's going to be all about her. People are saying, why she debut on Raw and didn't do anything? I say, because Raw's not the place for her because at the time they had Becky, they had Charlotte, they had Asuka, they had Nia Jax, they had Shayna. Wasn't the spot for her because they know she's a star and she has to shine. So she wrestled the main event to get over with the main roster, so to speak, even though it was in front of no crowds, right? Then, and I'm talking about Sasha, but I'm over here talking about Bianca. Then, but you'll feel what I'm going at. Okay, then they switched Street Profits to New Day. Why? Not for the Street Profits, not for the New Day. Somewhat for Big E, but the main reason behind it was Bianca Belair because they like having little couples on the same show. And they wanted Bianca Belair on SmackDown because the money match from the get-go was always going to be Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. They said, star, we need to put you with somebody we respect and we trust that can do it. It can sell the hell out of it. Sasha Banks was able to do that in the pandemic era. And she did it on Raw, she did it on SmackDown, and she did it on NXT. Sasha Banks is my number 2.
Solid number 2. Steve, oh, look, it's Eric Rowan. Steve, let me guess. Yugi Nagata?
How did you guess?
I've been your tag team partner now for over half a year.
Oh, my God. Yugi Nagata. Listen, what can I say about Yugi Nagata that has not already been said about Yugi Nagata?
Where do you start?
Where do you start? No, that's ridiculous. I'm not picking her. Oh, wait. That's not a her? Oh, it's a guy, right?
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Tony Khan?
I just want to say that
what's a pronoun these days?
Besides when I get to my number 2, I want to give an honorable mention to Zelena Vega. I know that she left under unsettling circumstances, but
the work, bro.
If everybody remembers, in the beginning of the pandemic, she was really good at, on Raw. She was on commentary a lot. She did her thing. So honorable mention to Zelena Vega. Jamame. Thank you. Going on to my number 2 is Sasha Banks. Obviously, for the reasons that were given, Sasha's been phenomenal with the fact that she was the golden role models with Bayley for the summer. This was the summer of Sasha in 2020. She made the best out of this pandemic moment, and her and Bayley together made you forget for a short period of time when you was watching SmackDown and sometimes Raw for that matter, about all this stuff that was going on. And that's the name of the game, right? That's the entertainment part of it. Sasha, built up the feud with Bayley. Hell of a match. That almost probably, it was my match of the year, the Hell in the Cell match. And, for her to culminate and put over Bianca Belair in the way that she did, I mean, she's a wrestling icon at this point. She's excelled being just a really good wrestler. She's in the stratosphere now. She's a legend.
All right.
Sasha Banks, thank you.
Nice. Sheriff.
I'm going to sound like a broken record because naturally I also put Sasha Banks. I put her over Bianca Belair because I know we've been saying Bianca Belair is a star in the making, but you main evented WrestleMania and you won. You're a star now. You're in the game. It's time to play. But like the exec said, the reason for that is because of Sasha. For a long time, I resented WWE, and I'm pretty sure Sasha Banks herself resented WWE for the position that they put her in for many, many years. Coming out of NXT, I remember distinctly that for whatever reason, they refused to really put her on TV, especially not in any prominent matches, to the point that the crowd was constantly chanting, "We want Sasha," because she was the hottest female talent out of the 4 horsewomen to me. I thought that she was the best one. She's better than Charlotte, in my opinion. And Charlotte's very, very good. And I resented them for that, one, because this is a Black female talent who is in my opinion, Sasha Banks is an all-time great female wrestler, especially in WWE, when you're talking about that crop of women. And for them to do nothing with her and for her to essentially flounder for years, I was like, I can't chalk that up to anything except WWE being WWE, and they never know what to do with Black female talent. And Sasha Banks, her being Black, had a lot to do with her character as well, and the way the crowd reacted to her, because ratchet is a term that people they apply to Black people. So when the crowd would chant that at her, instead of being mad, she kind of took it and ran with it, and she became like one of the best in the business. I say that Sasha made Bayley, because Bayley as a face, even though they floundered Bayley too, but Bayley as a face was created in that Sasha feud as well. Sasha is very, very good. I feel like in this pandemic era, she finally became what she was supposed to be for years, which is she is the top dog. I didn't put Bayley here, even though I liked Bayley, because I just feel like Sasha did more for the division as a whole. I feel like Sasha did more, not only for herself, but she put someone over who hopefully will have a better experience than she did. I feel like Bianca Belair in a lot of ways might be it might be serendipity the way it happened, because everybody knew from the start that Sasha and Bianca was the money feud. And so I think that even though it was Sasha's time and she finally got what she was supposed to get, she's doing what she always did, which is be the good heel. She gets everything that she needs, and then she gives it to the face, and she throws the baton. It's time. So in that way, Bianca became Bayley, and now it's time for Bianca to take the baton and run with it. But before that happens, I'm going to give number 2 to Sasha Banks.
What they
totally agree.
Yeah, that was very poignant. That was beautifully put.
Thank you.
And, everybody knows that I don't have color. No, literally, I don't have color. Look at me. I'm actually the same color as Builder Neutral. Okay? So that's just a little joke, because before our number 1, we're going to practice in honor of Kyrie saying that's why she came up earlier. We're going to start with our Wiggles song. So everyone, Captain Feathersword fell asleep on a no? Okay. All right. So Ron would back me up on that. Cold spaghetti, spaghetti.
Ron left. He heard
mashed
that
bananas, mashed bananas. Okay, forget it. My number 1, everyone. It shouldn't surprise anybody who my number 1 is. I have been unapologetically a fan of this man. I was unapologetically a fan of him everywhere. Unapologetically a fan of him before the Hurt Business. Loved when MVP came back. Loved everything he did. Loved everything about him. He himself deserved a top 10 spot in and of himself. But I cannot choose between MVP. I cannot choose between the almighty Bobby Lashley, and I will not. And I'm not. And you know what? And Cedric and Shelton had their moment too. I'm bringing them in for the past, the present, and the future. Yeah, dummies. I'm talking at you. My number 1, the Hurt Business.
Oh wow! I really thought that you were going to pick Joey Ryan.
Boom, boom, boom. Someone give me the music. All right.
Wow, that sounds just like Bobby Lashley's entrance music.
Exactly. I know. I'm like a walking
It's
bassoon.
like when I close my eyes, I see like the lightning bolts.
I was trained by Tchaikovsky and Rachmaninoff themselves. In bassoon.
Yeah, I remember watching those two guys in the 80s too.
Mm-hmm.
Shayna,
AWA, right?
Captain, and NWA.
Her face, that was funny. She said, "Excuse me."
Okay, so my number one. Listen, because I'm a huge Sasha Banks stan. Oh my God, I was so happy with this, like how things panned out, because I too was very pissed off with how she was handled in the very beginning time of when she came up to the main roster. And I feel like she came into this pandemic and she became everything that she was supposed to be, the same as what you said, Tara. She had an amazing match with Io, Asuka, Bayley, Bianca. I mean, she just match after match after match. And she has a win over Drew McIntyre. I will say that. I will put it out there. I'm just saying. She main evented WrestleMania. #1 Sports Illustrated wrestler. Yeah, that too. Mandalorian, everything. She's a star. And she proved her worth this year. 100%. #1.
Facts.
That's right. Charlotte. Oh.
What?
Gotcha.
Fuck you. Dude.
All right, executive consultant, you're #1.
You know, I can't argue with Sasha in any way, shape, or form. Good pick for #1. Her business don't necessarily agree, but still a solid pick. You know, they did such a great job for such a short amount of time. They did it. If you include her business as a whole, great pick there. I'm gonna tell a story. This will be a little long-winded. Call me James of UPRE. But,
no.
Okay, let me get a bathroom break.
Yeah, go ahead. But
are you gonna also find a way to offend people?
No, shush. So I had a conversation with a few hosts also a couple weeks ago, and I said that, you know, if you talk about the late 90s, early 2000s, where you had The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kurt Angle, Triple H, and so forth, you didn't realize that you were in possibly the greatest period of wrestling era of all time. Not necessarily because of the skills, but just because of the entertainment factor that they bring. Mm-hmm. I think now in 2021, you have the same format with the women. You have Charlotte, you have Bayley, you have Sasha, you have who's the Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair. I think Carmella has a great opportunity there. I thought she was on a roll before they kind of like stopped her for some reason. I don't understand. You have Asuka. These ladies that are wrestling are killing it. They are some of the most entertaining ones each and every single week. I'll even go to the tag team titles. People were talking about why did they main event Raw? Since the tag team titles have been in existence, the women's tag team titles have been in existence, they've actually main evented quite a few shows and pay-per-views. People just don't pay attention to it. They treat those titles with a little bit more respect than you give it credit to. Who were the first tag team champions? Sasha and Bayley. That's a trend. Remember that. Who are the 4 horsewomen that actually started the women's revolution to a certain extent? Sasha and Bayley were on that. That's a trend. Remember
Nikki
what I'm saying.
And Brie.
Right? I said to a certain extent. All right? Your WrestleMania main event was consisting of Ronda Rousey and 2 of the 4 horsewomen. Right? Listen to what I'm saying. That was for the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship. WrestleMania 37 was for the SmackDown Women's Championship. SmackDown Women's Championship was the only women's title to main event 2 WrestleManias. The first one was a triple threat also for the Raw, and then the second one was in it by itself. You have Bianca and Sasha for the SmackDown Women's Championship, not the Raw Women's Championship. And the reason I'm highlighting that is because the SmackDown Women's Championship was always considered to be inferior to the Raw Women's Championship for such a long period of time, except for Charlotte wanted to play hot potato with it, right? Once again, the reason I'm mentioning that is because the SmackDown Women's Championship was relevant because of my #1 pick, which is Bayley. Her 385-day reign as the SmackDown Women's champion might have started off pretty slow, but when the pandemic era happened, my goodness, We talk about skyrocket. Somebody mentioned Tucker, Cameron Grimes. I'm saying it now. To the moon. Bayley did that. A year ago, this one was a year ago, Steven and myself used to review Monday Night Raw with Katrina Storm. Shout out to NCAT We Trust. And I can tell you, it was tough. Doing SmackDown, it was tough. Being a performance center with empty, and you can hear just the slightest pinfall, was tough. You know who made that entertaining, especially on the SmackDown side? Bayley. She came out of her own. She started messing with Michael Cole. She used to start getting on commentary as she was doing the wrestling matches. She would talk very loudly to create some kind of noise. She would be irritating, and I love irritating heels, and she did it so well to the point where I agree with Shayna. Sasha created Bayley, in my opinion. She was always in Sasha's shadow. This year, she eclipsed Sasha a little bit. Sasha stayed with her because Sasha could do that because Sasha's a GOAT also. But Bayley was honestly the star of that tag team for a while. She really was. They went over to Raw. They went over to NXT. They went over to SmackDown. They had, Steven mentioned this, one of the best Hell in a Cell matches of, I would say, of all time. Definitely the match of the year last year, in my opinion. That was my number one match. Bayley did all of that, and she was so popular when they announced Hogan and Titus O'Neil as the WrestleMania host. People said, "Hey, we want some Bayley," and they were forced to try to force her in there to be somewhat of a host. They didn't give her the title, but let's be real. Her whole night she was interacting with them because she had to be put in there. I got to give credit to Bayley. I think she just killed it this pandemic era. I think she was number one. That's my number one pick, Bayley.
Steven.
Well, that was a really good pick. Bayley is great. But I'm going to argue with you here. She's not as good as this person that I've ranked number one. It's because of this one guy that we have so much to talk about in the world of professional wrestling in the last year. It's reinvigorated the wrestling industry. It has no, it's not a it has sparked and reproduced wrestling to 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and that's none other than the man, the myth, the most money of all. He's I was told no, it's not you, Ron. You
I know it's not, but I'm just waiting for the suspense. I mean, you're going. I'm waiting for the punchline.
It is the guy that owns everybody's favorite 3-letter word, curse word, AEW. My number one pick is Tony Khan. Tony Khan is my number one pick. This man has sparked interest in wrestling like no other. Yes, Sasha. Yes, Bayley. Yes, everybody's done amazing stuff. But Tony Khan, why are you yawning? Why is he leaving? Tony Khan has reinvigorated the wrestling industry. This man has put NXT on Tuesday nights, has put AEW on Wednesdays, and now on Fridays. There's wrestling 7 days a week almost, thanks to Tony Khan. There you go. Tony Khan's my number one.
Just replace Willie Beeman with Big Daddy Cool there.
Yeah.
The rest applies.
Tony Khan, number one.
Steven's not wrong.
Thank you.
He's not. And I know that y'all don't want to hear that a lot of the time, but that is very true.
But it's not the WWE.
He's not my number one, though. Yeah, he's not my number one, though. He might be if, yeah. I'm going to stick with
everybody. Let's give it up.
I'm going to play by the rules here, pick WWE, of course. I chose Roman Reigns because he is the top guy on the top show with the highest ratings. Not only that, those ratings are justified with good performances. He's putting over other people with him, including Jey Uso. He's the champion. He headlined Mania. And coming out of the pandemic era, I think that his character is in a good position to continue to thrive. Roman Reigns will only get better because I want to see what he does in front of crowds, and that's heightened interest. Roman Reigns is the top star in the business currently. He wasn't always that. As much as WWE wanted you to believe that, it was manufactured. It wasn't real. Truthfully, at a certain time, Daniel Bryan was the biggest star in the business, and they didn't want it to be like that. At this point, Roman is what they want him to be. Roman is the biggest star in wrestling. Roman is quite literally the head of the table. He is quite literally the number one guy on the number one wrestling show on cable television. It is what it is. He was the number one during. I don't care if he wasn't there in the beginning. It wasn't as good without him. So therefore, Roman Reigns is my number one.
All right, everyone. That is our top 10. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that it sparked some conversation with you and your friends. If not, maybe you can make some friends. A little breaking news here on WWE. Jimmy Smith is replacing Adnan Virk on Raw commentary. Jimmy Smith was a UFC MMA commentator, and he's a person who they interviewed recently to give the cross Finn match, that big fight feel. He's been on some of the WWE pre-shows before. Yes, sir.
Jimmy Smith's like the dude from NYPD Blue, the guy.
Yes, that's the one. It's the senator from Alderaan. So we're moving on now.
The senator from Alderaan?
Yes.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yep. That's
Good
the one.
luck, buddy.
One and the same. Also, he was a very successful wide receiver in Jacksonville. So that's got to hurt. Shots fired at AEW. Bang, bang.
I don't even know who that is.
Jimmy Smith? Sheesh. Okay. Would have been a Hall of Famer if not for some things at the end. Listen, aside from that, I want to thank my co-host today. It seemed like we were having a bit of fun, maybe a little loose, maybe it was a bit of ruckus. And it's true, it was. But this concept was developed about 36 hours ago, maybe. And it was only because we knew that there was no AEW. So we came up with this concept. We developed it. Everyone came up with their lists. And we had a little fun. We developed the format almost on the fly. So your UPR cast wanted to entertain you tonight on an empty night. We came up with a concept and executed on it in 36 hours. Was it a little rough? Maybe. Was it funny? Hope so. Was it informative and thought-provoking? Certainly hope so. But we hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you all for cooperating to the extent that we can call this cooperation. But we got it done. And that's a wrap, people.
It's not a wrap. It's not a wrap.
Yeah. It's not a wrap.
I haven't got that wrong. I botched the end.
You did botch the end.
I botched the landing.
Everyone's leaving.
We have so much freaking content. I gotta put it all out there, bro. Ron, get back on stage. Put our graphics up for me, please. Let's start with Monday. Let's start with Monday at 6 o'clock. If you are not at home, you definitely should be around the blocks because we are talking about Mike Knox around the blocks. Let me tell you, this man talks about all forms of wrestling. He's 40 intelligent wrestling fan, and you never know who's going to show up. 2 weeks ago, we had Brian Pillman Jr. on the show, and this past Monday, we had Dave LaGreca on the show. Once again, don't know who's going to show up. It's a very informative show. 40 intelligent wrestling fan. I cannot stress that enough. Starring Mike Knox and the Z is Silent. Later after Monday Night Raw, we have the Monday Night Raw edition of Unpopular Review, starring none other than Evil Dose, as well as the technician. Come on, bro. As well as the technician, David Sanderson, every single Monday, immediately after Monday Night Raw. Ron, don't let Steven troll you. On Tuesday, it is the UPRE episode. We're right now currently into Star Wars, where we have next Tuesday coming up, The Rise of Skywalker. The last one of the reboots before we get into a little bit of spinoffs. But join myself as well as the Mark Victor Rodriguez, as well as James, and our newest host, E. And we're going to talk about that movie. Also on Tuesday, immediately after NXT, we have the dancing chicklet up there, Captain Shakespeare, along with her partner, Bad Guy Jack, as they bring you all the action of Unpopular Review, talking about the NXT champion, Karrion Kross.
And Finn's abs.
Wednesday,
that shit is
you
dope.
already saw what happened, but this Wednesday, AEW is not on. Next Wednesday, unfortunately, AEW is not on, so we're not going to talk about that. But Thursday, UPRE is back. This time talking this week about No Country for Old Men. It's a host pick, James's pick. Same 4 people I mentioned earlier will be on for this one. That will be Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Friday, SmackDown is not going to be on. Instead, we're going to have an AEW watch-along, and that's going to be none other than conspicuous by his absence tonight for this show, even though he just did a show, Caden Dirt Sheets, as well as his host for this evening, which is going to be none other than the executive consultant on that watch-along. That should be a fun time watching AEW. And
Caden all along.
And let's throw in Bad Guy Jack. Now, Saturday evening, we are going to do SmackDown the day after. That's going to star, once again, the executive consultant, along with Big Daddy Cool, as we're going to talk about SmackDown for the previous day. And shortly before that, if I remember correctly, at 6 o'clock. Shortly before that, if I remember correctly, at 6 o'clock p.m., we have the dog up there along with Captain Shakespeare, as well as Katrina Storm's In Cat We Trust collab, Dark Side of the Ring. I'm not sure what episode is coming on, but which one?
Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, ooh, that should be a dark one. But Dark Side of the Ring, this coming Saturday at 6 o'clock, maybe 7 o'clock. Stay tuned for that. But 6 o'clock. And on Sunday, we're also going to have, we don't have the pay-per-view on the thing up for that yet, do we? No, I don't. But it's Double or Nothing watch-along. Again, there's a Double or Nothing watch-along. This one's going to be with, I think, Big Daddy Cool. I'm not sure.
Who knows?
I have no idea.
How do you not have a graphic for the most important show of the week?
Because it's not the most important show of the week.
We do. Here's SmackDown is here.
I don't know who's going to be on, but stay tuned. It might be a review show for that too. One last thing we have to talk about. No. One last thing. Two last things we have to talk about. One, they are doing a special on I can't remember the movie. What's the movie? It's coming out this weekend. You can't talk. It's a sequel.
A
Hills of Eyes.
A Quiet Place 2. They're doing a special movie review on that on Saturday, and I believe that will be C. Disappear, as well as Aaron, as well as the Mark Victor Rodriguez, and special guest Caden. I'm on every single show. Dirt Sheets will be on that one. Also,
are they going to be talking during that show?
They're not supposed to, but yes, they will. Bad Guy Jack, if you can come back in here real quick. What episode of Loki will be on this Saturday?
What episode? It hasn't started yet.
Ragnarok.
It's a movie episode.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is it?
Oh, I don't know.
Wow.
Ragnarok.
Did y'all do Avengers 2 Age of Ultron yet?
I think so.
Okay, I think it's that one. I think that's the next one. As they continue.
Loki didn't show up in that one.
Which one?
Avengers 2 Age of Ultron. He didn't show up?
Yeah.
No. We not that one. We did
Ragnarok.
Hi. No.
It's probably Thor. It's probably Thor Ragnarok.
We might be at Thor.
It's so nice to see Bad Guy Jack is so informed of his show. But this Saturday coming up,
I take naps.
I like
pay attention. Listen, watch out for UPRE because they're going to have Thor Ragnarok. So
Ragnarok.
Crap. So much crap. Army of the Dead is currently on UPRE. I feel like there's one more show I'm forgetting. I feel like there's one more show I'm forgetting. I really feel like there's one more show that just came out that I'm forgetting, but I can't remember it right now. Yeah. So basically,
Double or Nothing.
Basically, I already said Double or Nothing. Basically, if you don't follow us on Instagram, that's where we have most of our information. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on our Facebook channel. Follow us and subscribe to us on YouTube. Like, love, and share this, as well as subscribe everywhere. I'm done. Evil Dose. Say goodbye.
What is Instagram?
Subscribe to us on Yelp too.
Goodbye. Stay evil, my friends.
Yeah.
Who's gonna hit the button?
That was great. Oh, someone got to do the thing. Bang.
Somebody's got to do.
So I saw the Double or Nothing.
Tony Khan is the best. Tony Khan is the